This interview is going to be particularly fun because I don't know anything about the questions I'm going to ask. So I'm going to be as surprised and hopefully impressed as everybody watching. So, Jason, we know you are a member of CEO Warrior. We
Yes.
know you are involved in a service business. I don't know the scope of it. I don't know the duration you've been a member. I don't know what drew you here. I don't know what inspires you most about it. And if you're open, I'd like to learn those from you and do it in a real simple but a progressive way. Is that all right?
Sounds good.
Okay, so you have a business in Reno. What does that business do?
We do HVAC, and we just added plumbing in December.
Okay, and you have been a member of CEO Warrior how long?
2.5 years.
Okay. When you first were introduced and attracted to them, there must have been something about their, I want to say their proposition, but I'll say what they represented that spoke to something within you that either you felt or realized was an opportunity or a void or a need. What was it, if you can go back in time, if you don't mind?
I think it was that Mike had really had everything already planned out, laid out. It was strategic. I had worked with a E-Myth coach in the past that
Okay.
wasn't specific to my industry.
One of Michael Gerber's.
Yeah. Yeah, so it wasn't specific. So I learned a little bit about, planning.
But it's generality.
Yeah, it was real general. And then when I came out, to CEO Warrior, it was just night and day. I'm like, this is all geared towards me.
And it was geared not just towards you, but towards modeling a success process that had already proven itself, to transcend not just growth, but super growth.
Yeah, exactly. And there was already a business in place. Back then it was.
Yeah, you could look at it, you could see gold medal, and you could see it was just kicking ass, and everything he said was already there, and you could go visit and see exactly how anything applied, right?
Exactly.
So at the point that you became a member, your business was doing X.
Yeah,
right?
we're doing less than $1 million.
Okay, and may I ask? And again, I have no idea. I'm hoping you don't say now we're doing 300,000. That would be pretty bad. So over the years you've been a member, can you attribute growth and profitability and the other characteristic, personal wealth, meaning not just financial, but a quality of life and balance that has emanated from your membership here?
Yeah, all the above. I mean, when we started out, it was myself and a helper. I was in a truck.
So that was your business?
Yeah, it was my business. I did everything. I answered the phones, I ran the calls, I'd help do the installs.
Were you happy doing that?
That was the only thing I knew.
So you knew no other alternative?
Yeah, I'd only been in business for a couple of years at the time.
Okay, and
then, a year and a half later, I'm out of the truck.
Okay.
I have 4 or 5 employees.
All right.
Now, to this point today, I have 11 employees. We've had up to 15. I have
Okay.
7 trucks on the road.
Okay.
And I've tripled my revenue, doubled my profits, just business-wise.
That's fabulous. And what's your personal life?
Personal life is night and day. During the initial build-up, it was pretty stressful, and so my outlet was, come home and have a few drinks. It's been almost 2 years, haven't had drinks since coming to an event.
Really?
I made it a commitment during one of the fast track events that I was going to quit and just focus on the business.
That's wonderful.
And it was immensely, just life-changing. Just the wife, the kids, just being able to spend more time with them and not looking for that outlet for the stress.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I mean, my wife and I have been out to the relationship event that Mike puts on a couple times. I mean, our relationship is stronger than it's ever been.
That's wonderful. Now, when you come here, you're in an environment with some very special, not just like-minded, but some very, very impressive and I think very passionate people. Do you gain a lot from that environment?
Yeah, I think that's part of the key to the success is out here is being around other contractors, other service people that are at different levels in their business. And you can always pick something up from someone that's maybe doing less than you and so someone's doing more than you.
They've either been there before or you can see an element that they're doing that you're not. Now, do you think that because you're in an environment of higher performers, more value-based performers, people who want to build a business that works for them, not just, a lifestyle, are you have you expanded dramatically your goal for what you're trying to accomplish?
Oh yeah, I think originally my goal was get out of the truck.
Okay, and what is it now?
Now it's 10 million by 2025.
And do you have a plan to get there?
Yeah.
And was that plan hard to create?
No, I mean it's easy. You come here every 6 months. Work with Mike, build your roadmap, and you just work your plan.
And then as you do it, they provide you, which I'm very impressed with, the kind of support to either keep you on track, get you back on track, or if you're exceeding it, elevate your goal, right?
Yeah, the support is world class.
And it's very specific. You talked about, and I know this because I have a lot of colleagues who have coaching and consulting teams, but they're generalists who are very well intended and they're very nice men and women, but they haven't been in the industry, or some of them haven't been in any industry, and they try to put a general philosophy down a very specific set of unique situations, and it doesn't always really resonate, does it?
No, yeah, working with just a general coach, the E-Myth
No.
coach was okay. It was
Not his
good.
fault, but the point is, it needs to be. Mike has been there, done that. He has built everything based on real world experience, success, and hard-won understanding of what to do and what not to do, and I think it's very impressive. When you meet people here who come exploring whether to become long-term members, and you talk to them privately, because I'm sure they go, well, I don't know. What do you say? And I would also ask you, you can tell some people shouldn't, because they don't have within them really, I think, the capability or the tensile strength or the value basis to really achieve the kind of goals Mike is trying to create. But what do you say to the ones that could go either way? They could be great or they could just stay mediocre.
Well, I just tell them that what we've done, coming out here, from reading his book to coming to a fast track to becoming a member, and then just the life changes, the effects it's had on me and my family. And then I think some people weed themselves out.
I think you're right. So if your job was to be the one-man sales force for CEO Warrior, what would you do first, second, and third? And if you were building your sales script or your ad, what would it say?
It would basically be my story. It would be, going from the one-man show with a helper to, a company with a warehouse and a shop and CSRs and 7 trucks on the road and tripling my revenue. I mean, it would be the whole story.
That's great. Now, one final question, because I'm noticing this amongst the people I'm interviewing, and it really brings an internal joy. I don't smile as much as perhaps I could, but it brings a great internal joy. I'm sensing that building a team that feels like they're unified and they're on a mission, and it's one for all for one. They're not always necessarily happy, and they sometimes take each other to task, but that's got to be a byproduct that is very exciting, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And watching what happens and watching how they function and realizing, sort of like you with your kids, but you're building this organization, right?
Yeah, and it's a challenge too, going from being a technician to an owner to a leader.
It's a lot of responsibility, but it's a wonderful, satisfying, purposeful, and elevated role, which you have to grow through and grow to, but it's got to be very satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very satisfying. It's a whole new skill set, and it's a challenge.
But challenges are what make us grow and make us achieve, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
So, are you enjoying this event?
Oh yeah, every event. It's reinvigorating. It basically, when you go back and you work on your plan, you get so much of it done, and then life gets in the way, the business gets in the way, and you kind of get a little bit off track. Well, then the next month you're back in an event, and then you're getting re-energized and refocused. And if you do that every 3 to 6 months, as often as Mike puts on the events, then you're just constantly growing.
People think that you can do something once and it will sustain you forever. And I think that sadly and either nobly or delusionary wise, it's an untruth. You have to, just like every day you get up, you have to bathe, go to the bathroom, eat, put your clothes on, do it, come back, do it again the next day, the next day. You have to keep sustaining anything for it to continue growing and producing. But I think Mike has something that I've observed, because I've been here now 4 or 5 times, that it seems like every session he's adding something different. He's adding something new. But he's also not just going forward, he's making sure he keeps you tightly tethered to everything in the past. You have to make sure that you did, that you're doing, and that you're improving. So it's an integration. Am I right?
Yeah, he's constantly expanding and adding to the program.
So you come back, or you come home every time. I would use the word evolve, but you've progressed. You've progressed and grown in knowledge, in understanding, in leadership, and also in seeing where you can take the business.
Yeah, and it's like watching a movie. Every time you come back here, you see something that you didn't see the first time.
That's great. That's great. Well, I appreciate it, and I'm proud of you. Must be fun. Is your wife and are your kids having a good time now?
Oh, yeah, they love it.
And are you having more free time?
Yeah, definitely.
And are you using it?
We follow Mike's advice. You know, we don't do the $15 an hour tasks anymore. We have a nanny that helps out with the wife. Her life is not as stressful. You know, we have a cook that comes in and cleans. You know, a cook that cooks
Yes.
food for the weeks. We have a cleaner that cleans the house. You know, all the things that we used to spend the time doing. You know, we can get somebody else. You know, that
And it's
supports,
not that you,
it supports them.
and it frees you to do the things that are important, impactful, and fulfilling. Doesn't it?
Exactly.
That's great. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you.